Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Jemai Nacombe. I'm a real estate investor based in Baltimore. Now, in this video, I'm going to show y'all my update on how my BRRRR is going, okay? So, just to give y'all a quick intro about myself, I've been in real estate for over 8 years full time now. I've wholesaled over 200 properties in Baltimore and in Maryland. And right now, with the market kind of shifting, I'm kind of starting to pick up some new strategies and holding properties. I've got a couple of rentals, but I never really made it a focus. Now I'm really starting to latch that on and starting to kick that into another high gear. So, in the previous video I did, I talked about this acquisition that I got. I found a property. We purchased it for 135. We put 35,000 into it. My goal was to have it appraised at like, I conservatively said 240. That is the value is worth, but I said if it appraises at 230, it's still good. We could cash out and pay our private money lenders back and still keep it moving, right? So, for those that don't know, let me just give out the basics, right? So BRRRR stands for buy, renovate, rent it out, and then refinance. So there's 4 steps. And the fifth one is repeat, which is optional, but y'all get the gist, right? So buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and then do the whole thing over and over and over again, right? So we bought the property in October, right around Halloween, October 30th to 31st, one of them. Renovation was fairly quick. 35 wasn't too much of a rehab. Took us about like 6 weeks to get in and out. Finished it around November, around Thanksgiving. Found a tenant, went through the Section 8 process. That took about, I want to say, like a month and a half. So we got a tenant in January, right? So now we're in the refinance stages. I started it. Today is March 19th. I started the refinance process back in February. And this is where we at now, right? So right now, like I said, I started the appraisal process or just the refinance process in February. One thing that I did not know going into this is that you actually got to pay your appraisal fee up front in the whole swing of things. um I don't know if that's y'all experience. Maybe this was just with this particular lender. um so that's something that kind of caught me off guard, because the appraisal fee wasn't like 300-400, it was like $900. Now, I don't know if they're trying to get me. I mean, y'all let me know in the comments if y'all know about any other lenders that lend in Baltimore City, because that was another issue that kind of put a dampening on things. Apparently, there was some fraud that happened. I want to say like 2 years ago, where these a couple of like Jewish guys, Jewish investors based in New York, came down, bought like, I want to say like over 100 properties. They did this thing where they kind of like colluded with the appraiser to like appraise these piss poor properties that they never even touched or renovated in the worst conditions, and told them like, look, we wanted to appraise at 250, even though they never put no money into it. They would kick off the appraiser, pay him off, and they would skirt off and cash out the refi from the bank. And 2 years later, these notes wasn't being paid, and they ended up foreclosing. And that put a trigger for a lot of these lenders, because a lot of these lenders, what they do is they originate the loan and then they sell it to these bigger institutional, uh, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, who knows what it is. It's institutional lenders that ultimately buy these loans, and they get left holding the bag. So once that happened and they filed for bankruptcy on these 100 or so properties, these lenders said, whoa, 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 hold up on everything that you're lending on in Baltimore City. We're going to pause that. So, like I said, at the time of the recording, this is March 19th, 2026. and they've quote unquote paused. It's been over a year now. So there's only a small percentage of lenders that loan on DSCR. There's only a small percentage of lenders that actually lend in Baltimore City specifically. So I had slim pickings when it came to the lender, right? So I selected this local lender. I'm not gonna say names, but because they're not paying a bag, right? Selected this local lender. They offered me 7.25 interest rate, and they said, "Yo, we could do 75% of the appraised value." The origination fee, I want to say the points was like 2 points. It was pretty reasonable. I was like, okay, all right, let's do it. So he said, all right, in order to start the process, you got to pay the appraisal fee. The appraisal fee was $895. I was like, you serious? I got to pay that up front? He was like, yeah. It's like, okay, boom, paid it. So I paid it. The appraisal came out. I went to go meet with the appraiser, but I did not print out the comps. So a lot of people was telling me, yo, print out the comps and meet the appraiser at the property. I met him there. He was a cool guy. He was like, look, man, you have a really beautiful property. I seen you did a lot of updates. I was like, because I was telling him, like, yeah, man, we did a lot. A lot of, we updated the flooring. We updated the bathrooms, flooring decor, tiles, beautiful, beautiful. Updated the kitchen, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, the works. Like, we really did our thing on this like we normally do. He was like, yeah, I see what you guys did. It's a park facing property, so I'm gonna try to, you know, give you guys a bump for that and try to compare apples to apples because it's on a serene part of this neighborhood, and I'm gonna really like look out for y'all. I was like, okay, cool. He was like a younger dude in his 30s. He kind of sounded like he knew what he was talking about. It's like, okay, cool. So even though I didn't have the comps, I felt very confident about this appraisal. So long story short, he said he was going to give it maybe like 3 or 4 days. He sent the appraisal back. And let me show y'all the appraisal. Let me see if I can show y'all it. Let's see. Appraisal. Because I got the appraisal and I was looking through it. Because the lender said, good news, man, we got the appraisal back. We're ready to move forward. So I was like, okay, good news. What you mean by that? So I said, send me the copy of the appraisal. So this is the appraisal right here. Address is 3539 Shannon Drive in Baltimore. The appraisal was done February 2nd, and it came in at $211,600, which was significantly less than what I thought it should appraise for. Because again, I said it was 240 all day, conservatively 230. So his assessment came in at 211. This was February 2nd, right? So this was a month ago. I was like, what? 211? There's no way. Like, what comps did you use? So he says the subject was fully renovated since the previous purchase in 2025. Correct. All right. So as you can see, he picks 3 comps. First comp is 205, and I'm trying to figure out when it was sold. It was sold all the way in February 2025. So he picks a comp almost a year later, which is super, super late. I'm like, why would you pick that comp? God, I don't get it. Another one is 215, and another one was 220. Like very, very low comps in my opinion. And I'm not gonna go through the whole details, but yeah, that's what it came to 11, and I was very shocked, very super disappointed because it kind of throws a wrench in my whole ball plan. Because a lot of people don't realize like the biggest part of a BRRRR is the appraisal. Like the appraisal is the biggest part because you're buying, right? You obviously got to buy at a great price, which I felt like we did. 100,000 less than the ARV, right? So we renovated it, which was smooth. And then the refinance is like that middle part that's going to put us in a position to give us the cash back for our down payment, because we put like 30,000 on a down payment. So I was hoping to get that back so that way I could pay off my private money lender. So with it coming at 211 again, and I tried to challenge the appraisal value. I'm like, look, man, this is what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing 211. I'm seeing 230 at a minimum. And for whatever reason, if you in real estate, you know that challenging appraisals is very, very hard, very, very difficult, and it's super, super rare to actually be successful about. So in any event, I said, okay, whatever. So the lender said, look, we still can move forward with it, but you know, 75% is pretty much going to be a rate and term. It's not going to be a cash out. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever, man. Because at this point in time, I just want to stabilize the asset and move forward. And I'll just pay off the private money lenders from the funds from my wholesaling business. So it's not a problem. So I'm still going to move forward. I ended up switching lenders to get a lower rate because rates actually came down, I think to like 6.3%, which is super great. We got it down a percent lower, which is fantastic. So that's why, again, the appraisal took place February. We are in March, trying to close like in 2 weeks. Hopefully we close before the end of the month so that way I don't got to make another interest payment with the new lender. So I'll keep y'all posted once we do close, right? So this is where we at. We're in the refinance stage. We're going to do a rate and term, going to move forward, stabilize the asset, and, do another project. All right. So I just want to let y'all know, like, just to recap, appraisals don't do what I did. My mistake was not coming in there ready with the comps in hand to really justify the value. Even if the appraiser seems cool, young, hip, he knows what he's talking about. He's running game. He sounds like he knows what he's doing. Still grab those comps, have them in hand, have them ready, and just give it to them. I know we in this digital era. It still is great to still have those comps in hand and ready to go. So that's one thing that I learned the hard way. Hopefully, y'all don't got to go through the same thing. So keep that in mind when you're going through your refinance. All right. Now, would I do BRRRR again? Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I would do is just buy a little bit deeper discount, considering the market is kind of like at a standstill. I would say like this year appreciation is, I would say, stagnant, if anything, dipping a little bit. So just keep that in mind when you're running your comps and you're running your numbers. So keep that in mind. But for me personally, I got 2 other projects. I got another rental I'm about to close on, and then I have a flip that I'm about to do. So I'm gonna do this flip to get some cash, and then maybe in the next quarter we could do a BRRRR. But for now, I'm gonna keep it as a flip. So I'll keep y'all tuned on that project. But I just wanted to share this update. I hope y'all got some value in this, and I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, peace.